Hello everyone. Today we are going to do movie breakdown of the movie The Nun Part 2. Spoilers ahead, so if you haven't watched the movie yet, please do watch it. So, without any further ado, let's get right into it. The Nun 2 follows Sister Irene, 5 years after the first film's events. It starts at 1956 in France. In the opening scene, we see alter boy Jacques going to basement only to find out father levitating in midair and getting burned to ashes. A mysterious figure walks out after the incident. Sister Irene is now living in an Italian nunnery, where everyone has heard of the possession horrors experienced in Romania for years earlier. Still, no one here knows she was a witness and survivor to those events. Not even her friend Sister Deborah, an American of uncertain faith who's taken the cloth less out of devotion than family-pressured obligation. When she befriends Deborah, they are put to the test after the Vatican demands Irene perform another miracle. Relic was not destroyed, and she's raining terror on religious figures across Europe, as priests fall victim to gruesome demonic murders, from immolations to hangings and more. Irene and Deborah rush to a French boarding school to figure out Relic's motive and how to send her back to hell. Next scene we see a girls' boarding school. We are introduced to Kate and her daughter Sophie. We also see Maurice, who is all in one there. He is basically responsible for all the maintenance. If we recall the last Nun movie, Maurice was possessed by demon Valka for a short period of time before he was freed by Sister Irene. What followed was, Valka still controls Maurice's body. Hence, he is possessed. Next scene, we see Sophie being locked in the church, which was restricted by Madame Lauren by few girls who used to occasionally bully her. Inside, Sophie sees a lot of paranormal activities and got scared as hell. Maurice rescues her from the church, but after that incident, Sophie can feel and see the demon. She was determined that something really very demonic was happening inside the church. Maurice asked Kate the reason behind locking up the church. Kate tells her, Madame Lauren's son got killed at that place during World War II bombing, and since then that place has been locked. Later at night, Madame Lauren heard some noise. Upon checking, she finds out Maurice head-banging's church staircase. She yells at her and Maurice gets back to his senses and walks away. Madame Lauren heard the sound of his son from inside the church. Curious and emotional, finds out that it was her son who was calling her, but then the nun attacks her, revealing its true identity, and ends up killing Madame Lauren. Everyone was horrified with Madame Lauren's death. Irene starts investigating all the pictures of death associated with church. She finds out a symbol which was common in all the pictures. Irene was getting a lot of nightmares and visions, and it was on of her recent visions where she has seen Saint Lucy, who was killed by pagans and her eyes were taken out. She was determined that there must be any connection to it. Irene visits her priest friend who is working for a Catholic archives. He tells him the symbol is family crest. He tells her when Saint Lucy was killed by pagans and her eyes were taken out, somehow her family escaped. They were able to preserve her eyes. Judging by all the symbols in the pic, he concluded that the nun is killing all the bloodline of Saint Lucy only to get hold of the relic, which is Saint Lucy's eyes, which will make him powerful. When backtracking the current whereabouts of Relic, it leads back to the convent where Irene was sent to investigate. Irene and Deborah were attacked by Maurice, but he was defeated and chained. Later, with the help of Sophie, Irene finds out the relic which was hidden underground in the church, which was locked by Madame Lauren. Meanwhile, Maurice comes back to his senses and start attacking Irene. Along with Maurice, we also see one more demon start attacking the girls from the convent. Irene makes her way to the top of Bell Tower, and somehow the relic gets activated and Maurice was almost killed by it. We see him bleeding from his eyes, nose and ears. Meanwhile, Kate was able to rescue girls from the devil. While everyone thought Maurice was dead, he suddenly gets up, snatching and burning the relic, in the process getting super strong. We finally see Relic the nun in its true form. After possessing the relic, Relic is now super powerful and strong, and he starts torturing and killing Irene. Irene was about to give up, Then suddenly she recalls her mother's advice, who always asked her to believe in God. She somehow escapes NUN and hide in wine cellar. She and Deborah started praying, and all with wine start bursting and burning the NUN. What really happened was Irene's prayer turned wine into Christ blood because of her intense belief in God. And in the last movie, it was Christ blood which sent the NUN back to her realm. Same thing starting repeating again. All the wine turned to Christ's blood and started burning the NUN, and she was finally killed. I mean, as of now. Maurice also heals and gets back to normal. In the end, we see Maurice with Kate and Sophie, and his tomato seeds are turned into a small farm. In the end of the movie, we see Irene with a doubtful face, but it was not conclusive, and with this, the movie ends. So we don't know whether we will get the next NUN movie or not. Let future decide to it. In the mid-credit scene we see Warrens, who gets a call from Father Gordon for some demonic possession case. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, healthy, and as always, think horror.